I don't know what's been going on with me, but I've just been up late every single night. It's 3 in the morning. I can't sleep. And I just have these visions and these thoughts in my mind. And the only thing I can think of is to actually talk about them and to be real. And sometimes it's difficult to make these videos because you're putting your face in front of a bunch of strangers and friends and family do watch, and girls that I used to be with in the past watch. But I never want to end up leading people on, or I never want to lie. Like, I just want to tell the truth, and that's kind of what I'm going to get into, and that's loneliness. So I made a decision to not date, and there's a lot of positives to it. Is that I'm able to get a lot of work done because I'm not worried about like planning dates and setting them up and being on dating apps and cold approaching and then all this and that, right? Because if a girl likes you, you don't have to put in any work. But if she doesn't, then you kind of do. You got to get her on the date and this and that. So I made a decision to scratch that. And I've been seeing a lot of success with my channels. Like, literally, even my Broncos channel, my last video got 40 views. This video I posted a couple hours ago, we already got over 1,000, and it's growing and growing and growing. So it makes me really happy. I got a comment yesterday on one of my Charger videos from someone, and they said, and they talked shit on the previous video I made, and then they commented, they're like, hey, I talked a lot of shit about your last video, but this one was flawless. Like, oh my, like, everything's going well with the channels. I made more money on my Colts videos in the last, 3 days than I did all last month. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's crazy to think about. But this is a problem that I've had, is whenever I start to see success with the channels, is that it makes me happy, don't get me wrong. Like, it makes me super happy. But I still feel that void. And it can only be filled by a girl, and not just any girl, obviously. And I was super greedy months ago because I was grinding my channels. I had good friends in my life, and I had a relationship, and she always checked in with me every single day, called, FaceTime me. Whenever I got sick a couple of times, she came all the way to take care of me. And like I said, I don't have any regrets about ending my relationship because I thought it was best for me, and I still believe it was best for me. But you don't really know what you have until you don't have it. All the girls that and I don't mean to make this a dating video necessarily, but all the girls that I've talked to lately, yeah, just, there was really nothing there. There was really nothing special. I don't know how to phrase it necessarily, but I guess I have to figure out how to sort of fill that void without filling the void. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I will say this, is that this feeling is a lot better than experiencing ghosting, rejections, heartbreak. And maybe I'm lying to myself, maybe I'm not. In the moment, that's how I feel. But the reason why I can't sleep, and I'm gonna be honest, is because I'm seeing the channels do well, and when I sleep, I can't work on the channels. That's just really what it comes down to, is in order for me to not think about everything I just said, I have to be working. And whenever I try to work on content at this time, and trust me, I do, picked up my computer like 30 minutes ago after grinding the whole day, no distractions. Like, there wasn't a single thing I did today that was not work related. NFL from 11 when I wake up to 7, and then the Red Sox come on at 7 to 10, and the rest of the night is spent working on my Dexter channel, my Clash of Clans channel, and then Swaggy Alt, right? I made a Swaggy Alt video while my Broncos film video was uploading, and I also learned how to actually take a, what do you want to call it? Take a clicker kind of on my computer screen and then break down film, circle and draw arrows, and made my own thumbnails today. Like, it was a really productive day. But I guess I wish I had the ability to, when I'm just done with work, and not even to like see someone, but just to call, just to have a phone call or a FaceTime and talk for a little bit. That's what I miss. And I was so into like hookup culture and seeing different girls all the time that, I matured. And I mean, this wasn't that long ago. This was the beginning of the year, but I just matured and got past that. And a lot of it as well was the fact of how difficult it is to be able to do that for most people, at least. But a lot of it as well is like, even when you have that, like you look at like, months ago or whatever, when, I had 3, 4 girls that I was talking to and they were hitting me up first. You kind of realize like you want it until you have it. And then you're like, man, that's a lot of work. Like, I just want one person. And I don't know, man. I'm definitely uploading this video. I don't know what I'm going to title it, but I don't know why I get all these visions, and it's not like I wish I could erase them because, why would I, man? 26 years old, I went through all that for a reason. I think it made me a better person. But it's always negative. Like, I never have positive visions. Like, whenever I'm laying in bed and there's no positive ones. And it's because I've gone through a lot of struggles, and I use that loosely because I never would really, I mean, it's not really struggles. There's a lot of people actually like homeless and fighting every single day to kind of make it by. Like, I never want to make it seem like my struggles are really a problem. I'm just venting, right? But I'm waiting for a breakthrough, and I feel like it's happening. And I've been saying this for months on Swag Y'all, is that my time's coming. I don't know when. It might be a week, a month, a year, but I could sense it was coming. And I'm starting to legitimately feel it right now. But part of me is legitimately asking myself, why not just, and this is a large reason why I brought back Swag Y'all, was, I do want that other half of my life. And I'm not going to try as hard as I used to about it. I mean, I'm talking about, man, there was a time where I was putting dating in, even over my work. All I could think about was just setting up dates and living for the weekend and meeting girls. And I was meeting girls, don't get me wrong. But it's more so of, hey, I gotta be able to get these videos done. But then I also have to be able to try to set something up and to find a relationship. And I don't think anyone should purposely go out there and be like, hey, I'm gonna find a girlfriend. But I do think you should be meeting people. And I look back on, there was this one girl Saturday night that I saw that came up to me, and she was like actually like exactly my type. And she didn't come up to me. I'm exaggerating, but she didn't come up to me, but she looked at me, and then she put herself next to me and like looked at me to say something to her, and I didn't. Like I said, man, I just don't have the confidence to be able to do that anymore, man. Sucks. Didn't think that happened, but it's just the truth. And then Thursday, the 2 girls coming up to me, my friend, listening to music at the car. It reminds me of the old Swag Y'all back when I was 23, 3 years ago when I made Swag Y'all, of just letting opportunities slip away. And, someone could have came from that. Would I have probably gotten ghosted or rejected? Probably, but there's always that one time where you don't. And all I'm saying is, and this might be a dumb video, like, I don't know. I'll know if it's dumb or not by the watch time and the views and the engagement, but I definitely want to start taking advantage of those opportunities. I feel like in the past I was forcing things to happen, where I was going out to approach girls with my friends, and I was literally just slowly going out there like approach and this and that. And it's more so of just passively of being around people and then passively kind of doing it, not forcing it, letting it come natural and things like that. So, but this is something that I definitely, it reminds me of when I was, not to use the same age, but not, it reminds me when I was 23, because we just talked about the girls aspect of it, of not seizing those opportunities. But for the for the business side of things, it's 3 in the morning, so bear with me. Um, but it reminds me of when I was making YouTube videos, and I think I made $11,500 off of ad revenue on YouTube. It's my last semester in college. I also had a 3.3 GPA. I was in the school paper for, like, it was the craziest thing. But I have that same sort of feeling. This is the first, I'm not even kidding. This is the first time in my life since I was, so 3 years, where I've felt that energy, man. I've tried to get back to this, and I kept a screenshot from that month. There was one day on one of my channels I made, I think it was like $700, like $700 off, and it was just one channel. I was running probably like 3 or 4. So I remember I screenshotted that, and I just, for years, was like, I'm gonna get back to that. And then here we are. I figured out a blueprint, and I've been doing this for years. I've been prepping to find a formula, to find a blueprint, to be able to put it into play. And I finally have found it. We'll know for certain once football starts, but just off of spring and OTAs and camp and now preseason and cuts are next week, I've built up the knowledge to be able to do this. And I know for certain that if I want to get it to that next level, I can't just be fully in on it. I need to be able to have some free time, and to put that free time into, again, relationships, friends, family, God, dating, and things like that. But what I certainly don't want is to put that energy into girls who are seeing a lot of guys who have high body counts and are just, like, really nothing special. And I'm not trying to say I'm special. I think I got a good heart. I think I've got potential. At 26, I probably should have a little bit more together. But I'm fighting every day to make that happen, to be a better person. And yeah, I talk all the time about how I know this YouTube thing is about to work out. And also Instagram, once they put out the new feature to where there's a requirement for monetization, you reach that, boom, you're in like that, versus like send out a bonus program. Like good things are about to happen. But I definitely, I'm not here to beat myself up. That's something I used to do. I don't do that anymore. Or I try not to, at least. But I'm just sitting here and realizing how chilly the nights are getting. And summer's almost over. Like, it's August. I think today's August 20th. It's 3. Or in the morning of August 20th. And I'm realizing, like, summer's almost over. I haven't accomplished anything this summer. The highlight of my summer was having this girl that I met come over and hook up with her. That was the highlight of my summer. And yeah, of course I tried throwing a party, but that sucked. And yeah, I don't know, bro. But to be honest, most of these videos, like I said, are going to be about business and health and things like that. But I think this one was more of just a balance of where I tried to hit everything, business and dating and things like that. Today's Wednesday. And Wednesday is always a big, big day because it's the day before I typically cold approach. I obviously haven't been doing that lately. but I think I'm going to. And, I cut my hair 2 weeks ago, so I no longer have long hair. But like, who the hell cares, If someone wants me, then they want me. If they don't want me, they don't want me. But all I know is that, this feeling that I have tonight and this feeling that I've had the past week whenever I go to bed of just wanting more, it's not about making more money, about more views. I mean, that would be great, but all that stuff's fine. Like I'm confident in it for real. First time in a while. I mean, last year was a joke how I did on YouTube, in the sense of my NFL channel. It was an absolute joke. I mean, I hit 50K subscribers 2 years ago on my main channel. I'm at 64K, 63.8K. So not even 14K in 2 years, right? But we're seeing success. We've got the blueprint, the formula. AI can't do what I'm doing. That's what I figured out is, what can I do that AI can't? Now it's back, so things like that. But I know for certain that, I made it my mission to be able to grind and set myself up for the foreseeable future. But I'm going to make it a side mission to date. And the fear of that is the rejection. But what I realize is that you don't actually care about rejection if you're high value and you have things going on. I don't mean to be red pill, to like have a red pill mindset about that. But if you're happy with where you're at, you've got a good relationship with, like I said, God, your friends, family, you're doing well with the business or your job, you're striving for more, you're exercising, you're eating good food, and not that I'm a saint by any means, but yeah, so I'm going to take it slow and I'll keep you guys updated. I could wake up tomorrow and feel completely different and be like, oh no, I was tripping. But it's just, I mean, who doesn't want a partner in their life, right? Like, maybe some people have been doing that and they need a break. But how can your life possibly be worse with a good partner in it? My life was a lot better when, I had a partner, and obviously eventually I realized that, hey, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with her, so I moved on. But to say that it's better without her would be BS. But now it's up to me to be able to use my experiences and to use that rejection, and of course to be able to learn from it and to grow and to be ready for the next partner that I encounter. But I will say this, I'm not lowering my standards. I know that people have told me, I don't read my comments typically. Like usually I never read them. But I know some people in the Discord always tell me that, hey, look, your standards are too high. They're unrealistic. A lot of women comment this too that I have seen or I've been told, screenshot sent to me. I know my worth. I know who I am. I'm not going out there looking for an 8.5, a 9 out of 10. But I feel like I'm worthy enough for a 6.5, a 7. That's where I put myself around there. I mean, maybe not necessarily right now because my body could be better. I don't have hair anymore. Maybe not that, but I'm just betting on myself and hoping that the next girl that I meet kind of sees that and loves me for me and understands that. Alex Hormozi, if you guys don't know him, I remember, and again, I don't know Alex that well, but from what I do know, he gave his partner an opportunity to leave him because he was dead broke and he had a plan. She stayed, and that would be the best decision of her life. That's what I want. And when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, she called me, and I still don't know why I picked up, but I think the first thing she said was, I don't remember if it was exactly the first thing, but she said that, you have nothing going for you. And obviously, like, heat of moment, people say things they don't mean. But I think she was being honest. I think part of her was glad that I broke up with her. And, she did reach out to me a couple of times since then. But then she stopped, she moved on, and it goes to show that, there was someone better out there, if you think about it, if you want to put it that way. So it's up to me to, again, not to sound like a broken record, but just to grow from that experience, to learn from it, to be better. And why the hell not? Like, why not spend every single day, every single hour making content? Like right now, I'm up at 3 a.m. Cool, I'm making a Swaggy Out video. Let's get monetized. We've got the watch hours. Let's get the subs. I'm not jerking off. I'm not playing a video. I haven't played a video game in over a month, bro. I don't plan on playing a video game anytime soon. I've got 3 PS5s. I'm gonna move my PC into my room, set up double monitor set up, and just have games and things like that ready to go for football. I'm not playing fantasy football, which I'm gonna make a fantasy football video soon. But damn, I'm out here slouched. I gotta fix my setup because I don't like being back here. It looks really weird, so that's why I'm kind of up. But my posture, I don't want to mess it up. Don't want my back to get bad. But yeah, I want to make content. I want to grow. I know that I'm going to. It's just a matter of I got to be able to also balance my life. And I've never been good at this. The reason why I'm seeing success with the channels is because I'm going all in, right? I'm not going outside as much. I'm not talking to girls. That's got to change, though. Again, work is the priority. Make money. I got to make money so I can save up and things like that. Money is so important, but I do want to date. I do want to make sure that I'm exercising a little bit more. I haven't even been going outside. I had a streak going like a couple of weeks ago. I was outside every single day. Now I'm barely even getting out there, man. I'm not even wanting to go out there. I just want to make content. Like right now, it's like I should be sleeping, but it's like I'm making content, which I respect the hell out of because, I need to get that going. But I also, again, know that there's more to life than that, than just making content and making money. So, no, the goal stands is try and make 1K a week. Because if you make 1K a week, you can live on your own. Not going to be pretty in today, but you can live on your own. You can save up a little bit of money, not much. Obviously, when I'm older and have a family, hopefully, and a wife and maybe a kid or two, which sounds crazy considering I can't even get a date. But if, hopefully one day, yeah, I can't be making 1K a week. I got to make a little bit more. I got to make a lot more than that. But one step at a time, man. Let's try to get a date. Let's try to get a date this weekend. Let's try to just pick up the weights and pull up bar and just do something, man. But I will say is that as much as I love the people who are still listening to this point, and that will never change, but nobody's coming to save you. And the people who reach out and say you're not alone, like at the end of the day, they're selfish. They're going to put themselves before you. I'm going to put me before you guys, which is why I said, hey, look, I'm going to tone down the dating videos. It's not really good for me. If I had put you guys first, I would have kept pumping them out every single day. But I said, no, I'm going to put me first. And obviously, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because I'm better mentally, but it's a curse because now, my channel's going to take a hit. So we are going to keep doing Swaggy Alt. But I think it's a bad mindset to be like, yeah, let me just go talk to girls and, if they reject me, then cool, I'm getting content, I'm getting views. I do know people who do that and I originally that was my plan was I'm gonna go approach her, get her number, whatever. She's gonna ghost me, cool. I'll make a video, get something out of it. But now it's just again, and I'll end it on this because we're getting kind of up there in time, but now it's more so about whenever a girl like is around me or looking at me, doesn't mean she's interested necessarily, but hey, why not go talk to her? She turns me down, cool. I'll take it as a compliment. Like the last time I approached a girl, there was three of them, and I was talking to them, and then whatever, I started talking to the girl I liked, and then, this her friend started cock blocking me, putting her arm around her girl, being like, "Oh, she's mine," or like, I was like, "Cool." I was like, "That's cool," and then I asked her friend for the one that I liked. I was like about her Instagram or whatever, because Instagram, I like getting the number, but Instagram's usually like a higher probability. And then she's like, "Oh, I don't got my phone." I was like, all right. I mean, obviously she just making that up. Like she definitely had her phone. I was like, cool. I was like, just take it as a compliment. I was like, enjoy the rest of your night. And I walked away. So, that definitely like it hurts, especially because we had talked for like 5 minutes. So it's like 5 minutes I'll never be able to get back. And you always feel like, and I said I was going to wrap this up, I'm about to soon, and I always said that you learn something from every situation, and it will make you better in the next one. And that's my issue. My biggest issue with dating is that I feel like it's a dead end. Like I put my mind to this blueprint and this formula with content, but it's not the same with dating. I can't come up with some clever strategy and go out and get hot girl after hot. Like that's not how it works, bro. Because dating is about looks, right? Anybody can sit behind a. Here, give me a sec. Don't click on. Anybody can pick up a microphone. Now this microphone I need to fix the screw, but so I'm very gingerly with it. But anybody can pick up a mic, make a video, and it gets 30,000 views, and you make $250 from it. Anybody can do that. You can be clever. You can do literally AI. You can have a faceless channel. You can vlog. Anybody can do that, but like not anybody can just walk up to a pretty girl, ask her on a date. She says yes. You take my number, text her, be like, "Hey, it's Swaggy from the coffee shop or whatever," and she's like, "Hey," she's like, it's not how it works. And I think it's a very like negative mindset. But I don't mind having that as long as there's no hatred attached. And I mentioned this earlier, is I don't hate women. I understand why they are the way they are. I've studied it for years. I've always wondered, like, why do I suck at this? Why am I not really getting what I want? And then I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. They all want the same guys. There's guys dating multiple girls. And if you're a 5 out of 10, like you think I'm a 5, take a girl that's a 5, and she's getting with 8s. Right? She wants that 8. She wants that 8 to lock her down. She doesn't want me. Right? Unless she's older and wants to settle down and I'm making a bunch of money from YouTube at that point, then yeah. That's why it's important to know a girl's past. You'd be surprised how many men find out about their wife and what she did, and then they divorce her, or they contemplate divorce. So that's why I always recommend that you guys be very, very careful. And so that's why I recommend just understanding dating, because a lot of guys get money and then they buy courses, or they buy a dating coach, or they have a mentor. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, once you learn the game and you have money, then yeah, you're gonna get attention. But is it the right attention too? So that's why ideally I want to find a partner right now best case scenario is I find a girl who's like 20 years old, 21 years old, and she understands that, hey, look, I'm not making the most of money right now. She's not going to care all that much about it. Not to say like a lot of girls are, but a lot of girls also aren't, because they're kind of figuring themselves out and they understand that, I know you're older, but like I really believe in you. Like, but that's probably a pipe dream, but I think I'll end it at that. But it's very unrealistic, but why not try, bro? To be honest with y'all, but I look rough, bro. I haven't shaved in 2 weeks. This is what I look like when I don't shave in 2 weeks. Not that bad, but I'm tired. But this video definitely was something I'm glad I made. That's why I love Swaggy Yelt, is because 3 a.m. I could be doing a lot of dumb shit, but I know that I can just vent in front of a camera, and people want that, and I'm glad, because at the end of the day, we're both winning. You guys are getting content that resonates with you, and I'm being able to express myself. And again, I'll never be a believer in therapy. I don't believe in therapy. This is why I do this. People want to help you, they can do it for free, but nobody wants to, right? I talked about it earlier. One of my friends, I know him for 7 years, asking me for money. Like, can't just help a brother out, bro. Like, obviously, if I, once I get this figured out, like, I'm gonna, send him money and take care of him, things like that. But it's like, right now, I just need some help, bro. I need some. And he reached out to me, texted me. He's like, yeah, man, you're right. But it's like, come on, bro. Why do I gotta make a whole video for you to understand that? Like, especially because I would understand, like, if I was taking advantage of the guy, like he's helping me for free every day and I'm taking advantage of him. But nah, it's not even like that, bro. Anything he needs, I'll be there to help him out for free. But yeah, I think that's enough, bro. But oh man, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Y'all heard that? Oh man. All right, guys. Peace.